Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Offside Flag. Interesting weekend of football has just gone. Some interesting results. Fair to say we got a lot of our predictions wrong.
Yes, I can imagine a lot of people did. A lot of people probably would have thought Leicester would win, things like that. It's just the excitement of the Premier League for me is how unpredictable it is, and this weekend was no exception, really.
Yeah, we're going to go just to let you know what the plan is for the show. We're going to review the weekend's football. Few results we're just going to skim through. We're going to concentrate on our game of the day, which was Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Which was an absolute screamer of a game.
Definitely defences on top.
Yeah, defences on top. After that, we're going to go into the Arsene Wenger debate on whether he's still required at Arsenal or whether they need to change. Also coming out of the weekend, big story, Joe Harts.
His Man City status is very much in jeopardy at the moment. Dropped for the first game for Caballero. And I believe the reasoning Guardiola gave was he didn't trust Joe Hart's footwork or his ability to play the ball on the ground. So it's interesting.
So with his Man City future in doubt, is his England future in doubt? Yeah. We've got some viewers' questions. We've got one serious one and a couple of not so serious ones. And we got mine and Gav's Super Sixes scores from the weekend. So, starting off with the first game of the Premier League season, Leicester went away to Hull and lost 2-1. Big surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Leicester went to Hull and back really on that one. I do think that Hull is anything to go by. Teams have figured out Leicester to a certain extent. They realise that the counter-attacking game can be nullified to an extent by dropping deep defensively. So I think that's what caused a lot of Leicester's problems in terms of the space wasn't there for them to exploit.
I just think that Hull turned up with 13 fit players and decided that they had to give anything and everything. They threw the kitchen sink at them and they got the result that they, in the end, thoroughly deserved.
Yeah.
It's a great result. Burnley 0, Swansea 1. I'll be honest, also a surprise for me. I thought that Burnley at home in the first game of the season, but they were just outclassed in the end.
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought Burnley, if they are going to survive, are going to have to win games like this. But Swansea didn't look bad at all. Montero looked threatening when he came on. Llorente provided a good outlet for someone to hold up the ball, good in the air. It was pretty much his header that set up the third goal, wasn't it? So I thought, very good debut from Llorente.
Yeah. Now, an excuse for Gav to have another go at Alan Pardew. Crystal Palace 0, West Brom 1. Not a good start for Palace.
Not a good start at all, and I think it further exposes their need for a striker. And mind you, then again, the clubs that are going to try and sell the striker to them are going to know this, aren't they? So they're going to put up the price.
Rumour has it that they're looking at Christian Benteke for £30 million, and apparently if they don't get him, then they're looking at Andy Carroll.
A good buy, I think, to be honest.
Yeah,
for an underrated player. I would have taken him to the Euros myself, but
Everton 1, Spurs 1. Decent game this. Watched the highlights of it. Very good game. Spurs probably deserved to win it in the end.
Yeah.
But good start for both teams, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, it seemed a game of two halves for me. I mean, Everton seemed to dominate the first half and then Spurs the second, so... But Deulofeu looks like he could be an half-decent, not necessarily out-and-out striker, but false nine or whatever, so he had a very decent game, I thought.
I'd just like to point out that Stecklenburg made 2 great saves in that game. fantastic.
Worthy of my dream team inclusion, I thought.
Middlesbrough 1, Stoke 1. I thought Borough would get off to a winning start, but got pegged back by a Shaqiri free kick, which, in my opinion, Valdez really should have saved.
Yeah, I agree with he should have saved it, but what I don't understand is why Shaqiri was going to get substituted for Jonathan Walters.
Yeah, John Walters, not a favourite of ours.
I've got nothing against him personally.
He's crap.
Yeah, he's questioning his Premier League status, really.
Yeah. Southampton 1, Watford 1. Again, surprised that Southampton didn't get off with 3 points.
Yeah, I am as well, but is this a season where Southampton, losing their manager, losing their best players, finally catches up with them and they don't get to sort of near European place or European place?
Yeah, and then we had the evening kick-off, 5:30 kick-off in the Premier League was City 2, Sunderland 1. A lot tighter game than a lot of people may have thought, including ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be fair to Sunderland, Man City didn't take their chances, and Sunderland capitalised on it. And when you've got Jermaine Defoe in the side, you've always got a chance of scoring, no matter who you are.
Exactly, yeah. Although one thing I will say is I've given Sterling a lot of criticism on this show, but his run to into the box and eventually getting fouled, set up the penalty that was very good. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything else.
He didn't know, but I mean those first 4 minutes were blistering.
Yeah, a bit like the Iceland game, really. You had 2 really good minutes, and then
yeah, that is very true.
So, any clubs looking for a prospective player that would like a penalty in the first 4 minutes, please contact Manchester City and ask for Mr. R. Sterling, and they may be able to sort you out.
See if he's worth the Raheem.
Yeah. On to Super Sunday. Bournemouth 1, United 3. Routine for United.
Yeah, this is the one game I've not actually seen, apart from the Chelsea-West Ham game. So, but again, from what I could tell, very routine. Pogba was out, wasn't he? For I think he's serving a suspension from Coppa Italia.
Yes.
So even without him, it just seemed to work seamlessly. So I think United could be very much top challengers.
Well, goals from Mata, who I was quite surprised he started, to be honest.
Yeah.
Rooney and Zlatan. Zlatan's was just as perfect, as far in the corner as you can get it. And United's first goal, scored by Mata. Simon Francis, the Bournemouth right back, made one big mistake and decided that he wasn't going to let that mistake go unpunished, and then followed the ball into the box. The ball rebounded off the Bournemouth keeper straight into his shins and straight into Mata's path. So I don't know whose chips he pissed on this weekend, but yeah.
Mind you, I've read recently that Mata has been assured he's got a future at Old Trafford. So
in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second game, actually, we're going to leave that for a second. The Monday night football was Chelsea and West Ham. Chelsea scored with a last-minute winner through Diego Costa. I thought West Ham would get something out of this, and they were very close.
Yeah. Again, just West Ham are vastly improving as a team. I expect good things of them in the future as well. So of now in the future, but I think Chelsea were just a bit too strong for them. In terms of, I think Conte will do a very good job at Chelsea, and I think this is further proof of it. Really, starting off with a win.
Yeah. Right. The reason we left the other game out is because it was our game of the day, game of the weekend, in fact. And it was Arsenal 3, Liverpool 4. I expected Liverpool to get off the mark and win. However, what a game this was.
Exactly. I suppose for any sort of Premier League historians, Liverpool do get some fantastic games they're involved in, like the Newcastle games of old. And this was close to being as good as that, I thought.
Yeah. to be honest with you, watched most of the game. When Arsenal went 1-0 up, I thought that they were going to steamroll Liverpool. To be honest, Simon Mignolet made a great penalty save. Well, I say great penalty save. It was important at the time. Theo Walcott probably should have put it away though.
Yeah.
And then just on half time, Philip Coutinho decided that he was going to pull out a worldie of a free kick.
Fantastic free kick.
I've actually seen an Arsenal fan on social media complaining because Peter Cech didn't get to it. And said that he was a goalkeeper and he could have saved it. You got to love fans, haven't you?
Exactly.
You've got to love them. And then Liverpool came out second half and just absolutely blitzed.
Yeah. That's the thing, I will admit about Mane, I'm probably wrong, that the run and the goal that he scored were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So, just that's the thing with Liverpool, isn't it? They attack with such speed and such accuracy in the passing. It was impossible for Arsenal to stop them, even if they had a good defence.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it was good to see Adam Lallana score as well, and because one of his biggest critics is he's got all the skills and the attributes, he just hasn't got the end product. But his finish on Sunday was absolutely superb and gave the defence and Czech no chance.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, Arsenal at 1-0 probably should have buried the game, but they didn't, and it just shows you in Premier League football and in football countrywide, worldwide, if you don't take your chances, then you will get punished.
I think that's maybe the difference between Arsenal and the other title challengers, is you couldn't see sort of City or Chelsea doing that, could you? Just falling apart the teams. So. Okay,
that's our review of the weekend's football. In short, now linking on to the Arsenal-Liverpool result, there has been a debate for 2 or 3 years now, I would say, and it regards the management and the tenure of Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. He's been in charge there now for nearly 21 years.
96, yeah, nearly 20 years now, isn't it?
Yeah. They haven't won a Premier League trophy for 12 years. A lot of fans, this has been a raging debate between a lot of fans, not just Arsenal fans, but football fans in general. What do you think? What do you think about the Arsene Wenger Arsenal relationship?
I've thinking about it a lot, and it's very difficult to make up my mind on it. I mean, in one regards, if you want someone to sort of run a football club by the book, financial books, whatever, he's the perfect man for it. But on the other hand, it's a case of the defence has not been sorted out, from my opinion, since sort of days of when he first started. He's always had a surplus of money which he never actually reinvests back into the team, and they seem to be happy not winning the league, but sort of as long as they get 4th or thereabouts, that's fine, as long as they get Champions League football. So I think there'd be a very frustrating team to actually support. So I think Wenger should go, because he should actually invest the money he gets from all the revenue streams for the Premier League provides.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it from 2 different ways. I'm gonna look at it as from an Arsenal fan's point of view, and the Arsenal fan's point of view that I would see it as is we've not won a league title for 12 years. There is reportedly around about £270 million in the Arsenal bank account. 4th position in the league seems to be the target every season. I'll be honest with you, I'd be pretty cheesed off if I was paying £1,000 a season for a season ticket and none of that money was going anywhere. I really would. And yes, 4th position is Champions League football. Well, you're getting the Champions League qualifiers, which City play in this Tuesday, I think, tonight.
That's Bucharest, I believe, yeah.
Yes. I'd be pretty frustrated if I was an Arsenal fan. I can understand why Arsenal fans want him to go. I can understand why Arsenal fans want him to stay. You're right. If you want a manager there to run the club by the books and be financially sound, he's your man. However, if you want a manager to win the league and throw some money about and generally challenge, then I think they need to go elsewhere. There was something on the news the other day that says that Arsene Wenger wants to stay past his 2017 contract. Now, I'd imagine that if Arsenal don't win the league this season, obviously that takes us into 2017. I'd imagine there'll be some pretty angry Arsenal fans.
Exactly, yeah, and it looks unlikely they're going to win the league, so I think it should really be going. The thing is, when they've spent big money, there's not been a bad Arsenal buy, has there really, for a lot of money that I can think of.
No.
So he's always spent well when he's splashed out, but he just hasn't done it enough.
No.
So
he's he needs to sort that out. As far as I'm concerned, as a football fan, I believe that now is the time for him to go. I think the summer should be when he steps down and let somebody else take the reins.
Yeah, I agree. But he does play, I think, the best football in the league. But unless, obviously, depends what you want, really, isn't it? Do you want to be entertaining football or do you want trophies?
Well, this is the thing. As a football fan, I'd rather play crap every week and win 1-0 and win the league, than play silky football and finish 4th or 5th.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
I don't know what. That's a debate for another time, really. And if you'd like to get involved on that, it's at the offside flag 1, the number 1. Let us know. Would you rather watch your team play silky, entertaining football and barely scrape 4th, or would you rather your team win 1-0 in scrappy affairs and win the league? So let us know.
Yeah, I do think that history doesn't remember the entertaining teams as much as the winners, but
no. Right. Moving on from the Arsene Wenger debate, there's another debate going on at the moment, and Pep Guardiola pulled his first punch at Manchester City over the weekend with the non-inclusion of England's number 1 Joe Hart, which now looks like his place at City is in jeopardy. I believe that City are close to a deal with Claudio Bravo from Barcelona.
Yeah.
So that will throw his future into more doubt. So if his City future's in doubt, is his England future in doubt? And what's he got to do to get out of it? Does he need to leave now?
Possibly, but I mean, said about one of the teams he's rumoured to go to is Everton, isn't it?
Yes.
And if they've just bought Stecklenburg, whose name is difficult to pronounce.
Stecklenburg.
That Dutch goalie.
Stecklenburg.
If they've just bought him, then do they really want another goalkeeper? So I don't know where he'd go. Well, I suppose so. Wouldn't have a lot of clubs would be after him, but it'd be interesting to see where he'd go to after that.
Yeah, there is a rumour that they do want him, Everton. There's a rumour that Koeman that is interested in him. I believe from what I've read, that the deal that they want would be a loan until the end of the season, and then to buy him permanently, which I think would probably be a decent deal for both parties, to be honest. Yeah, the thing about Joe is I'm going to be biased because he's come from my hometown club, and I'd say a couple of years ago he was a world-class goalkeeper. He seems to have dropped off a bit recently, the Euros being a prime example.
Yeah.
I do believe what the pundits said at the Euros, where he does get himself too wound up before a game.
Yeah.
You can see him literally going red in the face in the tunnel, jumping up and down when he's one of the senior heads in the team and he needs to be calm. I don't buy this Pep Guardiola. I want people to play with their feet. Anybody can play with their feet.
Well, then Caballero made a mistake with his feet, didn't he? It set up a good chance for Sunderland. So
Yeah.
if that's the criteria, then is Caballero that decent?
Yeah, even if Caballero is decent with his feet, I just don't buy that he's a better goalkeeper than Joe Hart.
He's not, no. But Bravo, maybe. So...
No, I don't buy that either. I don't.
No, well, from what I've seen of La Liga, he's not a bad keeper at all. And I think for Barcelona as well, it'd be decent to offload him because they've got Ter Stegen in reserve.
Yeah.
So I think it's not a bad deal for all parties. I mean, Everton would use the Stones money, and maybe with the Lukaku money's got our Hart in. So if Hart went to Everton, I think it'd be a good move for all three clubs.
If Hart does move to Everton, by the way, I'm just hoping that there was a sell-on clause in his contract to Manchester City, because I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, with his obviously Manchester City future in doubt, his Everton his England future could possibly be in doubt. But I'll be honest with you, I still believe that he's the only man that can play in goal for England.
I suppose you've got Forster and Butland.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people will argue with me on that, and I completely understand it, because Butland and Forster are two good goalkeepers. But I still think Joe Hart's still a step ahead. Yes, he had a bad Euros, but he's still a step ahead as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Right. We've covered the football from the weekend. We've got a couple of viewers' questions in. We're going to start with the serious one, which is a question from Adam Rowland, who is a Newcastle United fan. And he says, as a Newcastle United fan, my question would be, what teams will win promotion to the Premier League, and who will be coming down? This is a difficult one, Adam, because not that we don't know much about the Championship, it's just the Championship's so hard to get out of.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict. I would be surprised if the three teams that went down last year didn't come straight back up. Although it all depends on what Di Matteo can do at Aston Villa. Don't worry about Newcastle. Look, they've lost their first two league games, but they won't have any problems. They'll come good. Rafa's a good manager. They've got more than enough quality in that division to stay up, to come up. And I'd expect them to probably win the league quite comfortably. I think if Villa are to come up, I think it's going to be via the playoffs, because I think Norwich will finish runners up.
Yeah.
But I'd expect teams like Derby, QPR and possibly Brighton to run them all very close this year. It is a hard league to get out of, and if you can get out of it at the first attempt, then fair play, because it is difficult.
Yeah, I've got nothing really to add to that, to be honest. I think that's pretty much how I envision the league going as well. So,
in relation to who you think will come down, we touched on this a few weeks ago. I'm still in the boat of Hull, Burnley and Swansea.
I can't remember which teams I said. I think I said Hull, Burnley and someone else, but I'm going to change that someone else to Palace now, because well, unless they get a striker, I can't see where the goals are going to come from, and the management isn't brilliant. So yeah, I'm going to go for Palace.
Is that just like a friendly dig at Alan Pardew this time, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
he's decided he's being polite today, which is a bit of a boo moment, really. But yeah, Adam, Newcastle will come up, I think. Villa will come up. Norwich will come back up, but they will be run close by Derby, QPR, and
Derby, QPR, and
Brighton.
Moving on to another Adam, whose tone is a little less serious. Do midgets have night vision? Do they have night vision?
I could be honest. I've never known midgets to have night vision, even if I ever asked. To be honest,
I never even realised that was a theory.
I don't know. Well, they do say if you eat your carrots, you can see in the dark. So, do midgets eat carrots?
Technically, it only retains your eyesight. If you've got bad eyesight, the carrots won't do anything. Sorry, but
are we even allowed to use the term midgets?
Are
they little people? Are they dwarfs? Are we allowed to?
I don't know if dwarf makes it any better, really.
I think, to be honest with you, I think they've gone past the point. I mean, I dropped a massive F-bomb in one of the episodes, so...
this is true.
So
we lost our PG rating a long time ago, yeah. Well, yeah. You lost it.
Yeah, I lost our PG rating a long time ago, and to be honest with you, don't be surprised if I lose it again, because there'll be something that really ticks me off.
Middlesbrough being too far away, I'm sure is going to upset you.
Who would moan at a 460-mile round trip?
Well, I think we know one person.
Our final viewer question for today, although we do have others that we will answer in future episodes, is from Russell Thelwell, who asks, on a scale of 1 to 3 bentos, how happy are you that Sam Allardyce is England manager?
Well, I didn't know what Frey bentos were when you first asked, but now I realise they are pie sellers, aren't they? Yes, pie sellers. On a 5, maybe sort of steak and kidney, maybe. I'm not really sure. One of the sort of average pies.
I think we'll go down the middle of a 5, and it's going to be a plain chicken one for me.
Yeah. We're not quite at the sort of chicken balty stage, are we?
No, we're not. We're not at the top end of pies or pie manufacturing. However, what I will say is this has got to be Sam Allardyce's dream job. He gets to go round every single football ground that he wants to in this country and sample every single pie. And I reckon he'd be well in. He's well happy, isn't he? Yeah. I bet he gets them for free as well.
Be the reason why he goes to some random club all the time. Yeah. Really good pies.
You go to Man United, sit in the executive suite, and you're like, would you like prawns, Mr. Allardyce? And no, give me a pie any day.
Pretending African Stanley have a really talented player. He needs to keep watching.
Yeah, you can just vision it, can't you? You can see Bobby Charlton eating his nice cushy lunch, Sam Allardyce with a massive pie in his hand, digging into it as much as he could. Right, just to end the show, mine and Gav's Super 6 scores. Unfortunately, I didn't have that great of a weekend.
Neither did I, really.
Predictions were a bit off. I scored 3 points because I got 3 correct results, but I didn't get the correct scoreline. Gav got 6 points because he got 1 correct scoreline and 3 correct results. So I've got a bit of catching up to do by the looks of it. Our next Super Sixes will be in the next show, along with our Premier League preview for the weekend, some more viewers' questions, and some topics that we randomly come up with just because we feel like it. So thank you for joining us for this episode. By the way, there is a grassroots special that I will be uploading concurrently with this one. So if you'd like to take a watch of that as well, I hope you'll find it interesting. I do turn into Wayne Rooney and say a lot, but there is a serious point to it, and I did go out and have a good wander around and talk about it. So that's all from me.
I believe that's a show that I won't be on.
No.
Very sorry, viewers, for that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll miss this lovely pale face on your TV screen for an episode. But
yes, and well, thank you very much, viewers, and like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe, share to your friends, keep your questions coming in, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on Saturday morning.
Thank you. See you.